voix nous fait pas amuser. Waden Pauye, Ubalatra. Ayowa, Atutmane. Akashu Pabade, Dorisida.
It's always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, visitors to Dominica for the festivities this week are encouraged to obtain an important permit if they are intending to travel with fruits, fresh meat and vegetables. In the Newsome Region, Turks and Caicos Island freezes visas and work permits for Haitians in response to escalating violence. And internationally, Ukraine president thanks U.S. president for productive talks ahead of ceasefire deadline. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back, and special good evening to our listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. Visitors to Dominica for the festivities this week are encouraged to obtain an important permit if they intend to travel with fruits, fresh meat and vegetables. Petra Grell Shillingford of the Ministry of Agriculture says the important permit is necessary as Dominica fights several pests and diseases in this sector.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy wants to remind persons visiting the island from the neighboring French territories for this weekend's activity or just on vacation in Dominica that with the importation of fruits, fresh meats, vegetables, etc., an import permit is needed. This has to be obtained from the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit. We are now located in Vanos House, that is on Charles Avenue, near the Aid Bank. The permit costs $10 and our office hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. But the cashier closes at 3. So we're advising persons that with any family or friends or they are returning to Dominica, that they contact the unit to obtain an import permit. We want to stress on this because, as you know, this is our border security. This is what is needed to ensure that Dominica remains clean and green. We have a number of invasive species, a number of pests and diseases that we are fighting daily within the ministry, whether you're coming via the Douglas Charles Airport or the Woodbridge Bay Port or the Bayfront Ferry Terminal. You will be required to show this import permit.
And that was Petra Grell of the Ministry of Agriculture. Minister for National Security, Reuben Blackmore, has issued a warning to adults who prevent sexually abused children from testifying in court. Mr. Blackmore says the Sexual Offences Act makes provision for parents and guardians to be penalized for refusing to allow the victim from cooperating with the police.
And why am I saying that? Because one of the matters that was discontinued is the failure of the victim to testify. Another victim happens to be a minor, which means that person cannot take a decision for his or herself. And because the parent said that my child doesn't want to testify, under the Sexual Offences Act, it's an offense to prevent witnesses from testifying. It carries a penalty of 7 years. And it's time that, and I'm writing about that people, including parents and guardians, whoever you may be, teachers, nurses, doctors, who prevent minors who have been abused, should be charged and taken before the court and sent to jail. Because when you prevent that young child who was sexually abused from testifying, for whatever arrangement you get, you are destroying that child life forever. And therefore, it's not right to blame the politicians. So we have to have this marriage between the various agencies of socialization to ensure that we care for that child.
And that was the Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Next Connects and Radiance Productions to produce World Creole Music Festival 2025 a VIP experience after overcoming scheduling and administrative delays. Next Connects and Radiance Productions have announced that they have resubmitted their expression of interest for the World Creole Music Festival 2025 and have officially been awarded the contract to produce the VIP experience for this year's Jubilee celebration as well as for next year. In a statement, the company shared that after productive discussions with the Discover Dominica Authority, the Ministry of Tourism, and senior government officials, all outstanding issues relating to 2023-2024 contract cycle have been resolved amicably. Next Connects and Radiance Productions expressed their gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Tourism, the Permanent Secretary, and the DDA for their willingness to engage in good faith and recognizing the importance of delivering a continuity of quality and in providing a truly world-class VIP experience. Next Connects and Radiance Productions stated that it is committed to raising the bar once again by creating an unforgettably, culturally immersive VIP environment complete with exceptional service, entertainment, and local flair. A national apprenticeship program is set to get underway in Dominica this year. Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor and Small Business, Darren Pinad, says the apprenticeship program will target unemployed young Dominicans.
Now, that will be a bold and strategic initiative designed to bridge the gap between education and employment. This program will provide hands-on industry-relevant training opportunities for unemployed youth. Participants of this training will receive a stipend to support their transportation and their basic needs while they are in the training. And thereafter, they will also benefit from a grant, and we hope to actively collaborate with the Dominica Technical and Vocational Education Training Program to ensure that skills certificates to the NVQ and the CVQ levels are handed out at the trainings. As an incentive, we will, as we said, give them the grants, and we will continue to work with them as they start up the business. We will visit them regularly. We will give them hands-on advice and hands-on training. The idea here is not to just be looking for jobs for our small people. I mean, that is important, and wherever we can, we do look for jobs for our people. But the objective here really is to turn our young people into the creators of jobs. So we don't just want you looking for jobs, we want you to be the ones to make jobs and to give jobs. So that is the whole point behind the apprenticeship program.
And that was the Minister of State in the Ministry of Labor and Small Business, Darren Pinad. Miss Dominica Tanisha Balso placed third in the Miss Caribbean Culture Queen pageant in Nevis last night. It was the first regional pageant for Miss Dominica. Guyana's representative, Shadia Mond-Asana, was crowned the new Miss Caribbean Culture with 1,213 points. Shaquana Jeffers of Nevis with 1,155 points was second, and Miss Dominica amassed 1,127 points. The victory for Miss Guyana also marked the third consecutive victory in the pageant competition by a Guyanese model. Chair of the Emergency Shelter Subcommittee of the National Emergency Planning Organization, Glenroy Tusa, is reporting a significant decrease in the number of people needing hurricane shelters this year. He noted that there are currently 100 hurricane shelters available in Dominica. Tusa commended the government for its initiative in providing resilient homes to the people of Dominica.
For 2025, we have 100 hurricane shelters. So the statistic is that prior to Maria, June of 2017, we had 166 emergency shelters to shelter close to 20,000 people in Dominica. That's in 2017, you know.
Yes.
8 years later, and that is the comparison that we have to draw. 8 years later, we have 100 shelters, but we only have to shelter 3,225 people who require state shelter. Other people, there are other arrangements in communities, people go to families and all of that. I'm talking about state shelters, right? That's what I'm talking about. And so we have seen a drastic decline in the number of people who are to be sheltered by the state, primarily as a result of the intervention of the government. And I really want to commend the government of Dominica for taking that bold initiative for providing housing, resilient housing for the population, to ensure that it helps us as a subcommittee, because we don't have the headache that we had in the past to look at so many people to be sheltered, and of course the challenge in terms of the number of shelters. So I really want to applaud the government of Dominica for taking that initiative.
And that was chair of the Emergency Shelter Subcommittee of the National Emergency Planning Organization, Glenroy Tusa. Dominica is moving ahead to establish a multi-purpose agro processing facility. Minister for Agriculture, Roland Roy, says discussion is underway with the Caribbean Development Bank on that matter.
We've been working with the Caribbean Development Bank on a project, about $168,000 to contract experts to do for us a feasibility study for a purchasing plant. They will have to do designs, costing, estimate, and the plant layout. Thus far, that's broken up into 4 contracts. CBD now is finalizing the contracts with the tenderers so that we can issue contracts by August. So once the consultants are on stream, by the end of first quarter next year, we'll have a full-blown study with designs, layout, and costing for a multi-purpose agro-processing facility.
And that was Minister for Agriculture, Roland Roy. Parliamentary representative for Wesley, Fidel Grant, says government has paid over $45 million to landowners in Wesley as compensation for property used during the international airport development. Mr.
Every individual who have given up their home, given up the agricultural land or a piece of land have been fairly compensated, and in some cases more have been given to the residents. Several groups have appeared over the years since the construction of this international airport. Several of them have decided to sow discord, to discourage the people. Since the construction of this international airport, we had zero violence in Wesley, zero demonstration against this project. Over $45 million have been paid to over 235 property owners. If you drive in the Joe Burton area, you will see the resilient homes that the government built. And just above that, you will see the resilient home that Wesley residents decided that they wanted to build for themselves, so that they have built their home. If you have been up there, you will see the size of these houses. It's a beautiful neighborhood, and I'm not saying so just as parliamentary representative, but the Wesley people were treated fairly. They can continue to live comfortable lifestyles and live in dignity.
And that was a parliamentary representative for Wesley, Fidel Grant. Government reported last week that the airport is 40% complete ahead of schedule. This brings us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is Newsome Region and International.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now news from the region. The Turks and Caicos Islands has announced an immediate 6-month freeze on the issuance of first-time work permits to Haitians, citing escalation of violence in the French-speaking country and a steady influx of immigration applications. Turks and Caicos Premier Charles Washington Missick also announced that his government will enforce a 6-month freeze on visa issuances for Haitians as part of a broader effort to tighten immigration controls and enhance public safety. He added that there will also be a 6-month moratorium on visas, and that will take effect immediately. Misak said that since the fatal shooting on July 21 this year, which claimed the lives of 2 young people, the police have issued a wanted notice for that suspect. Internationally, Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky has said he and Donald Trump discussed sanctions against Russia, defense cooperation, and drone production ahead of a visit to Moscow by U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff. thanking Trump for productive talks on Tuesday. Today, Zelensky claimed that Moscow was particularly sensitive to the prospect of sanctions. Trump has previously stated that if Russia fails to agree to a ceasefire with Ukraine by Friday, it will face hefty sanctions or see secondary sanctions imposed against all those who trade with it. Witkoff will be in Moscow on Wednesday and is expected to meet Vladimir Putin. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Flow's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports Package for today, Tuesday, August the 5th. First, we go to Mr. Fadul for the latest in sports. Well,
Thank you very much, Hassan Robinson. And of course, some very, very, very wonderful news for the under-15 national football team in the CONCACAF Championships. This afternoon, Dominica played to a 2-1 win against the Bahamas. Well, a 12-minute goal from Hassani Ambo and a 70th minute goal from substitute Taron George secured the win for Dominica as the national team this afternoon defeated the Bahamas 2-1 in the boys under-15 CONCACAF Championships. Well, Doug Simmons secured the lone goal for the Bahamas. Dominica plays its next game tomorrow in a very crucial match against Curacao. We will definitely be following that very big game tomorrow. Of course, a win for Dominica will secure them a place in the next round of that under-15 championships games in CONCACAF. Hassan Robinson, we go right back to you.
Of course, thanks to Mr. Joseph Heleboy Fadul for that update in our sports here, keeping us up to date, right? Into our sports here, 3 secondary school students are the first recipients of the Dominica Athletics Association Athletics Legacy Scholarship Program. Dejanik Didier of the Westmar Rangers, Naiola Allen of the Striders Athletics Club, and Keone Esprit of the Pioneers Athletics Club were presented with the scholarship during a ceremony this morning. The inaugural scholarship program was introduced by the Dominica Athletics Association to support secondary school athletics based on financial needs.
And this scholarship is financed by past and present national athletes, namely Mrs. Thea Lafo-Gadson, Mr. Fabian Flora, and Mr. Brendan Williams. It's very special because each athlete will provide a contribution of 1,000 EC dollars for the 2025-2026 academic school year, and this will ensure that the athletes are supported both academically and athletically. These sponsors will not only sponsor in cash, but they will serve as mentors to the athletes that are selected. And so athletes this morning, you all are very special, not only being the very first set of recipients of this type of scholarship, but also being able to have mentors at that level of athletic prowess. So congratulations to all of you. We'd like to now recognize the recipients. Dejanik Didier from the Westmar Rangers, Naiola Allen, Striders Athletics Club, and Keone Esprit from the Pioneers Athletics Club. And these are 3 young but very promising athletes. And these recipients for the scholarships were selected by a 3-member scholarship committee, which consisted of Ms. Tanya Burnett of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Mr. Alian Christopher, who is our media personnel, and Ms. Jamasha Mello, who is our female athlete representative. And although 5 athletes applied for the scholarship, they had to go through a grueling and a thorough selection process, and these 3 athletes were selected.
And that was a public relations officer of the Dominica Amateur Athletics Association, Natasha Janvier-Carbon. Fabian Flora, one of the donors for the scholarship program, addressed the students at the handing over ceremony.
This sponsorship will go a very long way because I also benefited from this while I was training in Dominica before I migrated overseas. So I can tell you that I have seen the benefit and I know that it can go a very long way in your development. I come before you with inspiration and belief that if you set goals, put your mind to it, and believe in yourself and God that everything is possible. When we look at setting goals, there's two approaches that I have taken in my past that helped me to be extremely successful in every avenues of my life. One of them is setting goals, and the next one is the 3Ds that I developed for myself. What I've developed over the years of being an international athlete and a student athlete, international athlete, professional athlete, is that I've developed 3Ds. The 3Ds is what I've used to keep me motivated and give me the drive and the passion to achieve my goals. First one is discipline. You have to stay focused. You have to keep focus in trying to achieve your goals and make sure that you're not distracted. Drive is your ability to push through the adversities. You're always going to have challenges, injuries, difficulties, but you have to keep a positive mindset and push yourself, and that's your drive. The third one is determination. You have to be determined to win. You have to be determined to achieve all of those goals. So when you have a winning mentality or winning mindset, that's going to be your determination. What is it that you'd like to achieve? You're going to receive this scholarship, but then what is your intention? Do you want to receive a full scholarship to enter a university where you're going to get all the support that you need to become an Olympic champion? It's important to set your goals very high now and then have smaller goals to achieve them towards the big goal. So that's very important in when you think and when you develop your mentality of how you're going to set yourself up to achieve your goals.
And that was a donor of the Dominica Athletics Association Athletics Legacy Scholarship Program, Fabian Flora. Kicking into some football, the Belfast Estate Maho Soca Strikers' slim hopes of winning the DFA Premier League title will be on the line tonight as that competition continues at the DFA Technical Centre. The Soca Strikers are 8 points behind the league leaders, Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC, and will need to win their 4 remaining matches and hope that Dubla goes on a losing streak if they are to win the title. They will come up against Promex Hallam United as the tournament continues tonight. That game kicks off at 6:30 p.m. at the DFA Technical Centre. If Maho loses tonight, then Dubla will be crowned champions Wednesday night if they beat Valvoline United in tomorrow's match. Meantime, DSFC will face an uphill battle to survive in the DFA Premier League as they were pounded by the Connect 767 Quartz Already Cashed East Central team in a match with huge implications for the relegation battle as the Premier League continued last weekend. Randolph Peltier got 4 goals as East Central beat DSFC 7-2 on Saturday night at the DFA Technical Centre. The win moves East Central to 10 points. They are 6 points clear of DSFC with 3 games left in the season. East Central head coach Stanton Serafin says Saturday's win was crucial.
Yeah, I think it was a well put game together. I think the boys played well. I think it created a lot of chances, Gavin. And I think we could have scored much more goals. That's maybe one of the disappointments, this evening. But besides that, I think we controlled the game well, and that's the important thing. In the midfield, you saw our midfielders really stringing the passes together and then finding these through balls for our attackers. And I think that was the difference here tonight.
Randolph Peltier with the 4 goals. How special was he tonight?
Yeah, very, very, very good. Though he could have much more, he could have a few more, but we know how good Randall is up in the box in particular, and tonight he just showed his class, put 4 away for us, and we are very happy, with the performance and with the results.
All right, now you're going to have your eyes on Point Michel because you're looking to avoid that 9th place finish. You want to get into 8th. What's going to be the message to the guys moving forward?
Yeah, well, it's just to continue. You can see that in round number 2, the performances have improved. We are playing much better. I mean, we have had only 2 defeats in round number 2, so we are doing much better and putting some pressure on a Point Michel. It's still have about 3 more games to go, Gavin. So we will still see changes there, but we're going to be pushing till the end. We want to get as high up the table as possible, and we're going to keep playing and training and doing all that we can to get at least in the 8th position.
And that was East Central head coach Stanton Serafin. The loss leaves DSFC in 10th place on 4 points. Head coach Jordan Luke says the situation looks bleak for his club.
A complete performance, that's what we were looking for. Unfortunately, that's what we didn't get. Many times when players they didn't go their way, their heads dropped. And we needed some more composure, some more determination, some more fight. And too many times some of the players I think it just got overwhelming. It's a lot mentally, and we just came up short.
Mission impossible, some might say, because you're 6 points behind East Central now. You have 3 games remaining, means that you're going to need to win your 3 remaining games. You've only managed 1 win so far this season. How are you guys going to be approaching the end of the season?
I think that's based up to the players. It's not PlayStation, it's not Xbox. I cannot make the players do what I want. I can come up with a game plan, but the players have to execute. And I think it's a refocus, a recommitment to the training pitch, and a commitment to the project itself. I think, Randolph Peltier, who scored 4 goals tonight, right? His career is double the age of DS. We just haven't been there that long. It's growing pains, it's a hard curve, it's a tough curve. But I don't plan on quitting.
And that was DS head coach Jordan Luke. In the other match on the weekend, Middleham United defeated Petrocaribe Pointe Michel 7-4. Kenneth Valmont, Fitzroy Benjamin and Marcelius Bonney got 2 goals each for Middleham. Dante Warrington got a hat-trick for Pointe Michel. The loss leaves Pointe Michel on 11 points, just 1 point in front of East Central in the race for 8th place with 3 games to go. The team that finishes 8th will avoid the playoff match with the runners-up of the Division 1 League at the end of the season. Into some more sports as we bat into some cricket, as West Indies captain Shai Hope says despite losing their 3-match T20 series with Pakistan, there were some positives to take away as the Windies continue to build to the next World Cup. The Windies lost the 3rd T20 against Pakistan on the weekend, losing the series 2-1. One of the bright spots was Alec Athenaze, who managed a career best of 60. West Indies captain Shai Hope says despite the series defeat, there were some positive signs.
Well, we speak about execution with the ball a lot, and it's something that we've seen progression. We just need to be a little bit more consistent. It's something that we're always going to be picking at as a bowling group. But yeah, same thing with the batting, making sure we deal with those middle overs a lot better, and our usual power in the back end. So just trying to have that complete cricket game in all 3 areas. So it's something that we definitely need to look at, but I can see some progression in small areas, but it's consistency I'm looking for.
And same with progression, we saw that with the batting. What exactly pleased you with the effort tonight?
Just that intent, something that we spoke about yesterday after the game, and just the way how Alec came out and showed that class that he has. Same with Joel in his first series. They show that they're very capable of playing these conditions at in this level. Yeah, it's just something that the guys, put straight into practice from the meetings that we would have had. But like I said, consistency is key, and if you want to be the best team in the world, you got to be doing things repeatedly, and it's something that we didn't do for the last couple of games and series, but certainly something to improve on.
And that was West Indies captain Shai Hope. The attention now shifts to the ODIs, which gets underway Friday in Trinidad. Indian captain Shubman Gill has praised his ace bowler Mohammad Siraj as India picked up an amazing 6-run win over England in the 5th and final test on Monday to secure a 2-2 series draw in their 5-test series. England, needing 36 runs with 4 wickets in hand on the final day, were bowled out 6 runs short. Siraj picked up 5 for 104 as England were dismissed for 367, chasing 374 to win.
No, I think, we were pretty confident. Even yesterday, we knew that they are a little bit of under pressure. We just wanted to make sure that they're feeling the pressure throughout. Pressure makes everyone do things that they don't want to, and we just wanted to make sure that they're feeling the pressure throughout the 37 runs that they scored.
Tell us a little about captaining Mohammad Siraj. He looks like a captain's dream.
Yes, definitely. He is a captain's dream. Coming in 5 test matches, every ball, every spell that he bowled gave us all out, and every captain, every team wants a player like him. We are very fortunate to have him in our team.
And do you think 2-2 is a fair reflection of the cricket played between the teams?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, both the teams coming on day 5, never really knowing which team is going to win. This shows that how passionate both the teams were, and how much of a good cricket both the teams played throughout the series.
And that was Indians captain Shubman Gill taking us to the end of this evening's news and sports. A special thanks to the DBS News and Sports team and link personnel, DJ Haloboy.
It's in the